When photographers go off to take photographs and we look at a subject to photograph, it's not really the thing that we're looking at in itself that we're actually taking pictures of. It's the light that's falling on the thing that we're photographing. We're, generally speaking, photographing reflected light rather than light that's being emitted by the subject. But that light that's falling on the subject is informing us of that subject. It gives us shape and form and texture. And without the light, it just would be flat. The light on the background and in a foreground would be the same, and that's called a flat image. And it's very difficult to discern scale and depth in a flat image. We want to have some kind of light to give us shape and form, which is what these pictures are doing here with the people's faces. With the statue, is it gives a form of the portrait of a person's face is through the light. Without that lighting, it would be flat, as in the very first picture. It's very difficult to discern the scale of the face and its features if all the lighting is the same. So when we're photographing whatever it might be, we're looking for something which is going to give us a sense of depth and sense of time. So we use light not just to give us information about the actual subject itself, but also to give a sense of mood and a sense of time of day, evening, morning, how we feel about a location is also through light. Light gives us depth in the picture. The leaf with light from behind it gives us the detail of the veins of the leaf itself. We need that light to give us that depth, that texture, to inform us of what that leaf is like. We look at landscape photographs. We're looking at the light that is on that landscape. Colin Pryor pictures of the Isle of Skye has depth to it because the foreground has shadow, then there's light, and then there's shadow, and then there's light, and then there's shadow, and we get a sense of depth because of that light, and a sense of scale because of that light. We don't have to go long distances to find things to photograph. It could be just things around your house that will be interesting just by looking at the shadows that plants or cutlery, cooking tools can make, the texture that you capture from them, the tonality, the form that they create can be interesting in themselves. It might be that you look at food you buy, cabbage leaves by Edward Weston, the texture that he was able to capture and making a leaf look like a material is through the light that fell on that leaf. The folds in the skin and the veins of the leaf is all captured because of the light. If you look at the pepper pictures he photographed, the peppers are textured and come alive because of the light that falls on them, and the shape of them is informed by that light. So the idea of the project that we're going to be looking at is to do with light. The idea is we go off and photograph light, but we do that by photographing the effect of light, the shadows and the reflections that light can cause and form from our subject that we choose. And it doesn't have to be in your house. It doesn't have to be up in the mountains. It could just be your local area. It might be street furniture. It might be buildings, or it could just be in your own room. and watching the sun traverse around the room and look at the shadows that the sun forms on the things in your own room. So a few pictures, doesn't need to be very many, would be good to see, and just see how you see your subject. Look at the graphic design of it, look at the shape and form that those things are making, and photograph them. Just be aware of the four corners of your canvas, look in four corners of your frame. Make sure that what you've got in the picture you want, and if you have too much in, get in closer. But what we're looking for is looking at light, because that's what your camera is photographing. It doesn't photograph things. Your camera, remember, is blind. You are the one that sees something. All the camera's doing is capturing the light that's being reflected from your subject. That's what we're going to look at. Okay, so thanks for watching. Be exciting to see your pictures that come from it. As I said, just a few, doesn't need to be hundreds of them, just a few photos, and that'd be really good. Thanks for watching.